All right, we're live. Welcome to Be the Boss of Your Money. We're just getting started. This is we'll call it the evening edition. It's only one edition, but evening edition. Market rebounds. Let's take care of the unimportant things first, because believe me when I tell you the day to day stuff, the Dow up 100, down 200, whatever, this is not what's important for your financial security. I'm telling you, I promise you, the market's going to do what it's going to do. Um, we're going to talk about Social Security in a moment, which is going to be way more important than one day's market action. But it is worth getting into just because last week the Dow and the S&P were off over 2% last. I'm sorry, the S&P and the Nasdaq were off in the 2% range. The Dow was off maybe 1% last week. It was a pretty tame week for the Dow. Now we got spoiled. These weeks happen all the time. Markets go up or down 2 or 3% in a week, but we've had week after week, month after month of gains. So we're starting to get a little spoiled, a little like, wow, this not hitting a recession thing has really taken the markets off to a very strong bull market. This whole thing is about, first, hard landing. We go into a recession, it hurts the economy, but in doing so, inflation would come down. Of course, because if the economy sucks, people aren't spending money. It's very simple. When you're not spending money, prices go down, supply goes up. And then we cleanse the economy. And in that case, a lot of marginal businesses would go under because there are just a lot of businesses that can't take a 5 or 10% hit to the revenue. If they mark down prices too much, they could quickly lose money. So you see poorly managed businesses go under. You see businesses that have become obsolete go under. Consumers get hurt, people get laid off. That's what a recession does. Foreclosures go up. Recessions are painful. Okay, they're painful. So policymakers want to do everything they can to limit the extent of the pain that they go through. So they raise interest rates to slow the economy down, not quite get to the point of a recession, but enough to weaken the economy a little bit, slow things down to bring down inflation without actually hitting recession. That's called a soft landing. And a lot of people didn't believe in that. Now, we talked about that. We're believers of the soft landing scenario. A recession could be avoided. You've got to prepare for market highs, S&P, Dow, Nasdaq, et cetera. That was not a popular opinion, but as it's become more popular, the market has rallied to accommodate that opinion, meaning if things aren't going to fall apart, we sold too many stocks, we have to buy them back. And then people who were in cash, investors who were sitting in cash, decide they can't sit in cash anymore. They have to catch this runaway train of a stock market, especially professionals, because they're going to be viewed at the end of this year as, well, what were your returns compared to your benchmarks? And if you were sitting in cash while the benchmark is up, S&P is up about 19%, 20% year to date. You know, if you're sitting in cash, you're up like 1% or flat for the year, you're going to have a problem, and investors are going to pull their money from you, or could pull their money from you, or your Morningstar rankings could go down. All kinds of problems when money managers decide that they know when the market's going to go up or when the market's going to go down. We digress, by the way. So I'm going to roll the intro in a minute. I always say that I go into the show. I'll roll that in a moment. It's not really an intro if I didn't roll it yet, but it'll be called like a mid-tro. But the Dow up 407 points on the day. That's 1.16%. That basically made up for last week's loss. NASDAQ up 0.61%. S&P up just about 1%. Okay, we'll take it. It makes a dent. A lot of those stocks like the Metas, which used to be called Facebook, Google, which is now called Alphabet, Nvidia, a lot of these stocks had, multi-point pops today, and all of a sudden they're, you know what, maybe they're not looking so bad. Maybe we don't have to take profits on these. Things are looking okay. Gold off a little bit. Oil was, believe it or not, down a drop. Oil's been in a very strong uptrend. The VIX is down to 15s, nothing too crazy. And we have a comment out there. Let me just put that up here. Hi, Dad. Hey, Jess. Good to see you. I hope you're learning. All right. So now I'm just going to roll a quick I don't want to call it an intro, and then we're going to get into Social Security. And this is going to be really important because this is the stuff that I get asked all the time. All right. Thank you so much for getting back to me or sticking with me. I don't even know where I am. I'm all over the place today. It's been a wacky day, crazy, beautiful weather over the weekend, right? Didn't we have the well? If you're on Long Island, we had the most fantastic weather. A little rainy today. It'll be a little rainy tomorrow. Then we get nice again. And I get to go back on my hike to the Cold Spring Harbor Trail, which I've really been enjoying. Got my new hiking shoes. So, what else could we talk about here? Okay, and we have Renee back for more of your great content. Oh, thank you so much, Renee. I really appreciate it. You're so kind. Thank you very much. And give us a like while you're watching this, please, or an applause or a wow at other people you're watching. I want to talk to you about social security. Okay, paying taxes to Social Security. So, this is really important. This is very common. People are always asking and debating, and they talk to me about this. Why don't I just claim Social Security when I turn 62? Because if I get the higher amount at 67 or wait till I'm 70, the amount I'm getting from 62 to 67, 5 years, I have to live to like my 80s to break even. I'm not really, it could be a little bit, not necessarily 89. It could be 80, 81. It could be 79. Depends on your earnings record. It depends on a couple of things. It's not so cut and dry, but why don't I just wait? Or when I collect early, because I could get all the Social Security money I can get now. Social Security might not even be there in 10 years. I mean, it's going bankrupt. I think people have an emotional or a bias for as the cause of something, for a reason that's either based on biases or nervousness or emotions, and then they justify it with a logical reason. You want to collect Social Security early now because you're worried about money. You want to make your life easier now. You're worried about your financial security. So even if you collect a smaller benefit, it could help you out a little bit right now. You need the help now. That's okay. You want it now. You're feeling bad about things. So you collect the Social Security now, thinking that, and you justify it by saying it might not be there. There might be a cut to Social Security. I'd have to live a really long time to get it. I might as well try to get as much as I can now. You never know what the future's going to bring. And so it's like, logical reasons to buy Lurban. And then we start with urban emotional reasons to buy. We justify them with Lurban logical reasons to buy. I learned that in a 2-day Anthony Robbins course I took in like 1996. And by the way, it was fantastic. I'd highly recommend it. But it was really interesting how the mind works, and it's so simple and it's so true. So you want to collect Social Security. What I tell people is this, and first of all, this is no knock against people who do what they have to do. You have to collect now. You may have been out of work a long time. You may have health issues. You might not think you're going to live that long. I mean, there are a number of reasons, and none of them are shameful. You do you. It's a personal choice. And if a good friend of mine who will remain nameless, who does pretty well, claims Social Security now, and he came up with all the standard reasons it might not be there, whatever. Okay, so first of all, I personally believe Congress will get their act together with Social Security. They will fix it. They will put some money into it, and they'll delay having to cut benefits by a long time. Okay. Social Security is paid for with your payroll tax, Social Security tax. Your employer pays payroll tax. So when you get paid, your employer is putting about 6.5% of whatever your pay is into Social Security, and you're putting 6.5% into Social Security. And that will continue being paid by all working people. But there is a surplus of Social Security funds that's being used to pay part of current Social Security benefits that people are receiving now. When that surplus runs out, it could be 8 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 12 years. We're not exactly sure. That's why the time frame keeps changing, because as you get closer to it, you get more newer information, which makes your forecast more accurate. So if that were to happen, current recipients could possibly take a 20% haircut to benefits. So why not take your benefits now when you're younger at 62? If you're 62 now, turning 62 this year, why not just take it right away? And, if there's a cut to the benefit, you'll be the better for it, because you're collecting more now than 20% less in a couple of years. So 5 years, because 62 to 67 full retirement age. So that's one way to justify it. And if you're having a health issue, you don't know. Look, we talk about life expectancies. Yes, it's actually easy to forecast life expectancy of a group of people, but you can't do it on an individual basis for a whole group. Okay, it's not possible. It's just, we're talking about averages, not individual. So the point is, though, should you take it now? It's a personal decision. But when I talk to my clients, one of the things that I talk to them about in order to delay it is this. First of all, if you delay Social Security till your full retirement age, if you're born 1960 or later, it's 67 years old. So for me, I was born in 67, so my full retirement age is 67. And if I delay it from 67 to 70, I am entitled to an automatic 8% increase per year in my benefit. Now, you tell me where you can get an 8% guaranteed return. Nowhere, right? 8% guaranteed return. And you get cost of living adjustments on top of that. So you can easily be getting 12, 13, 14% increases by delaying Social Security from 67 to 70. The reason you would at least wait till your full retirement age, 67, and delay it till 70, you could take it at 68 or 69 or 70, but the reason to delay after full retirement age, again, 67, and the reason to wait at least till you're 67 to claim what would be called your full retirement age benefit is because I don't think of it really as an investment. I want to make sure I get as much money as I can get out of it if I die early. I want to make sure that at 70, I have an extra stream of income, the highest I could get, to feel secure in my old age, in my retirement. And as some of you are laughing, you're close to your old age already. Okay, I'm 56. I'm not quite there yet. I don't know. I mean, 56 might be too old to be middle age at this point, right? Isn't middle age like, I always thought that was like 40 to 55, right? Now people say, you could be 60 middle age. I don't know if 60 is really middle age, but, we could fudge it any way we want. So that's the reason to take it later, is because look at it as an income source, an extra added income source that you're going to need in retirement. And, if you're investing like me for your retirement, you're going to presumably keep your money in investments even when you're retired. You're not just going to cash the day you retire. You still want to have investments. It'll help mitigate the ups and downs of your portfolio by having that guaranteed amount of money coming in. Now, so this is all about not taking Social Security, though, while you're working, because if you're working and you collect Social Security, you have to pay taxes on the Social Security. Okay, so in other words, this doesn't apply to everybody, but if you're an individual and your income is $25,000 to $34,000, 50% of your Social Security is taxable. I'm not saying you're paying 50% of your Social Security to taxes. I'm saying 50% of it is taxable. And if you make more than $34,000 as an individual, so $34,001, your Social Security, 85% of your Social Security is taxed. Now, I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying you give 85% of your Social Security all the taxes. It's 85% of the benefit of what you get is taxable. Okay. For a married couple, 32 to 44,000, it's 50% taxable. And married filing jointly, it's 44,000 plus your Social Security is $85,000. Now, it's easy to hit that $44,000 threshold because you're taking money maybe out of IRAs. You might have other income. You could still be working. The point of the matter is, if you're going to take Social Security while you're still working, and you need it, it's not as much of a benefit as you think. Oh, I'm 62 or 63. I'll take Social Security now. I'll use the benefit. It's taxable, and it's not really enough to really. It might not be enough to really help you out. You're sacrificing a lot to take it now. So what I'm saying is, if you really need some extra cash, there's two other things you could do, and this is going to be like blasphemy for the industry. But one thing is, you could stop contributing to your retirement plan instead of collecting Social Security early. Because if you put more money into your retirement plan, there's no guarantee that you're going to pick good investments. There's no guarantee that your investments are going to go up in value. But with Social Security, it's a guarantee that your benefits going to go up to your full retirement age, 67, and keep going up at a rate after that of 8% for 3 years to 70. And that is a guarantee and a good return, as opposed to maybe putting more money into your 401k, your retirement plan. So if that's the case, instead of collecting Social Security early, stop committing to a retirement plan. And if you are committing to a retirement plan and that's okay for you to do, but you still want to collect Social Security because you think it would help you out, then in that case, I would say maybe liquidate an investment or come up with the money from other investments somewhere to avoid collecting Social Security. Now, if you just feel that you want to start collecting Social Security now because you don't think there's going to be anything left in a couple of years, or you don't think you're going to live long enough for it to make a difference, then by all means, consider collecting early. But for everyone else out there who's going to collect Social Security while they're working, I would beg to differ and say you're better off not collecting Social Security and halting your 401k or your retirement plan contributions. Because if your income is not that great, you're probably not getting that much of a tax benefit from it anyway. And the money you take out of your retirement plan is all going to be taxable. And in that case, I would say stop the plan contributions, or even, dare I say, take some money out of a plan if you could, to help you offset expenses so you could delay collecting Social Security. That's the conversation that I have with clients. So that's why I said at the beginning of the show that this is not about, today what the market did. Oh, wow, the Dow was up 400 points. You can't invest directly into an index, but you could invest in a security that tracks or mimics an index. Yeah, okay. So wow, the NASDAQ was up almost 1%. That's today. That doesn't mean anything for you in the future. We get stuck in like, what's happening now? What's the latest news? What did Apple's earnings look like last week? What's the next quarter figures going to be from corporate America? We get past that. But the decisions like Social Security, other decisions, personal finance, are going to have so much of a bigger impact on you than paying attention to what the market does on a day-to-day basis. Now, if you enjoy the market like I do, then by all means, look, I love looking, I love reading, I love learning about all the moves. A lot of times we see trends develop, and a lot of times moves happen, things change in the market. We assign a reason for it, but we don't even really know the real reason until some time passes by. But we have to focus on the personal finance because that's really the kind of thing that's going to help get you to where you want to go. Okay, that's the end of the show. I greatly appreciate your time. Thank you, and hope you guys have a great evening. Talk to you tomorrow.